Blog Talk Radio.
Do you do when you don't know? Just go and ask for do-de-o-do. Ahura Z will journey with you to all the places on
Ready
the
to
go. What do you do when you don't know? Just go and ask for do-de-o-do. Ahura Z will journey with you to all the places others won't go.
This is Ask the Unicorn, live with Ahura Z Diliiza, answering all your paranormal, metaphysical, and spiritual questions. Call us now at 718-664-9638. And now your host, Ahura Z.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. I am Ahura Z Diliiza. Hi, how are you? And it is good to hear you all, or good to see you all, or whatever. I was told once that I had a perfect face for radio, so now I'm just trying to, exercise that face and see how well it does. If you have any questions about the paranormal, any questions about the metaphysical, any questions about the spiritual, I do have answers. Now, my answers may not always jive with what you have heard or what you have seen on television, but my answers are straightforward and to the point. Now, I wanted to talk about something this evening, some of the things that are happening around the world. I was speaking to a student of mine earlier, Amon, and he was telling me how there was a tornado in Washington, and he wanted to know if there was any spiritual connotation behind that. And I just had to tell him that there could have been. As far as I know, Washington is one of those places that is very high vibration. I'm talking about Washington State. Very high vibration. There are many native tribes that are there, so it depends on what they might be doing. And again, who knows? It could be aliens. I'm not a cryptozoologist. I'm just someone that sees. I am a telepath, natural telepath. I'm also someone that understands. And what I mean by understand is I understand the ins and outs of the spiritual world. I've studied many religions. I don't have all of the answers as far as religion goes, but I have plenty of answers as far as the spiritual and spiritual development goes. So, I'm going to open up things to questions. I'm going to open up the floor to questions. This is my first radio show, so excuse me if every once in a while I kind of do a faux pas as far as how radio shows are supposed to go. As far as I'm concerned, this is just about talking. So I understand that a lot of people have many, many questions. I'm going to get to that. I just wanted to get you all acquainted with myself. I do movies. I do music. I teach martial arts. I teach physical fitness. I've done a lot of things in my life, and I'm hoping to share some of my knowledge with you, and hope that you get a good understanding with it. There is someone that I would like to go ahead and start answering questions, or open up the floor for questions. That is Elise. She has a very good insight to spiritual matters, and I consider her kind of like a little sister, and hopefully I can help her out here. Let's go ahead and open up the floor to Elise and see if she has a question, or the person that actually is ready whenever they are. Hello.
This is Elise.
Hello.
Hi, this is Elise.
Hi. How are you?
I'm okay.
It's good to hear from you. I'm good. It's good to hear from you.
Well, thanks. I have a question. I have two questions. I don't know. Well,
okay.
One of the questions is that my husband works at this place that was built on top of a Native American burial ground, and a lot of the people that are working there are being affected by the spirits.
Okay.
And we want to find a way to liberate the spirits so they can be calmed and not affect the people anymore.
Okay. Well, let me go ahead and answer that for you really quickly.
Okay.
The spirits are already liberated. I know that on television they talk about how spirits are trapped and how they are in so much pain and so forth and so forth. They are liberated. I'm going to put you on mute just for a second because there's a lot of feedback coming through your phone, so I can go ahead and answer your question, then I'll open you up again.
Okay.
Okay. Now, I want to address this particular question because I get it a lot. you have to understand that there are many people that have lived in the United States of America and have lived in this particular country. They're not just native yet. Whenever we talk about something of a spiritual nature, we always go to native, but understand that we are all spiritual in our own way. As far as the Native American burial ground, I think it was one of those things that could turn into a giant political debate, and I don't feel like doing that. I do know that anybody's ground or any burial ground is sacred ground. It should not be built upon. However, in this particular case, if the spirits are bothering other people, I have to find out, I have to find out first off, what is the nature of the things that are bothering them. I have to find out if there are people that are just being very paranoid, if they're just afraid, if they're doing something that is drawing that kind of attention to themselves. And then I have to find out which actual entity is doing it. But one of the things that I can say is that you can just leave an offering for these spirits and understand, make them understand that you're not the one that is the violator. You're not the one that has desecrated anything in any way, shape, or form. And if you do that kind of an offering, which I think is one of the most honorable things that you can do, is just acknowledge the fact that there were people that lived on these grounds and people who were buried in these grounds that will actually help them to understand you. Remember, they've only lost their bodies. They haven't lost their minds. So if there are those kind of people that are still around, these type of spirits that are hovering about this place, make them an offering. Say something to them. Talk to them, and you make them understand. Listen, I don't mean to violate anything, and I'm not the person that did violate you. And perhaps that will help them. Okay. So what do you think of that?
That sounds really good. We found out that that we were going to smoke a peace pipe with Indian tobacco in that area, and that they liked corn and maple syrup, so we were going to offer that.
Okay. Well, if that's something that's part of their culture, but understand there's no such thing as Indian tobacco. You know, it's just tobacco.
It's lobelia. We found that it was lobelia.
Well, tobacco is just tobacco, and true, you do offer tobacco as a sacred gift, and you know I get that, but what we do want to do is just keep it very, very simple, very, very spiritual, and just offer them what you think is best to offer them.
Oh, okay. That sounds really good.
Yeah.
Can I ask you something else or not?
Certainly. You said you had another question.
Oh, yeah, I just have, wherever I go, there's people that send me bad energy.
Okay.
And in the form of, like, symbols that sort of looks like the ancient Chaldean alphabet.
Okay.
And I want to know why they do it and how to get them to stop doing it, or how to, like, fight against it or put up barriers against it.
Okay. There are many methods of prevention. And this goes under the heading of psychic self-defense. If there's some symbols that you've actually found that are physically there, one of the things that you might want to do is not with your hand or anything like that. You might want to wipe those symbols out and offer a blessing or prayer yourself. But if you're talking about a personal experience, that's something that I will discuss with you privately and at length.
Oh, okay.
So, okay, but people do things for the weirdest reasons. Sometimes they may be mad at you. Maybe they don't like you. Maybe they do like you. Maybe you didn't give them something that they wanted you to give to them. Maybe they just decided that, oh, I'm just going to do this to this particular person. So as far as why someone does it, that could be a myriad of reasons. The main thing is that you always remain the good person that I know you to be. And if you do that, then what will happen is that negativity will just bounce right back at them. Okay, and that's something you can depend on. Remember, your prayers are very special, and regardless of what anybody thinks, prayer does work. You just have to find out what is the correct way to pray. And I can tell you just very simply, it's not talking at your higher power. It's talking with your higher power. It's actually building a relationship with those that you believe are the highest power. Okay? Do you understand? And that could be God, Goddess, that could be the saints, or whoever it is that you look at or look to for your answers. Then that particular person will be exactly who you need to speak to, not at. Okay?
Okay. Yes, I understand. Thanks.
Great. But I will be happy to talk to you. And as a matter of fact, I'm going to just send you back to our screening room so that perhaps we can make up an appointment where you can sit and talk to me one-on-one. Okay?
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, that sounds great.
But thanks for calling in, Elise. I really appreciate it.
Oh, thanks. Thanks for everything. Hope you have... Okay, God bless you.
You too.
Thanks. Bye.
That was Elise. Elise, I've had the pleasure of knowing for quite some time, and I actually call her my little sister in God, so as a matter of fact, I do that with a lot of people, but she's very, very special. Her spirit's very, very clean, and I appreciate that. So, going on about things of a psychic protective measure, one of the things that I am is a psychic policeman. What that means is that I have the ability to police the spiritual world. If you have any questions about how to protect yourself psychically, I'd be more than willing to answer them. I'd be happy to go in great length with you. I may not do it on this particular show, not go in great length, but I will definitely give you something that you can depend on that will work for you. It's all about having valid answers and not just something. What we're going to do right now is take a small break, and I will be back with you in about 2 or 3 minutes.
You're listening to Ask the Unicorn, live with Ahura Z. Diliiza, answering all your paranormal, metaphysical, and spiritual questions. Call us now at 718-664-9638 to speak with Ahura live on the air. If you have a personal matter that you would like to discuss with Ahura in more detail, he offers telepathic readings and telepathic spiritual counseling sessions by phone and Skype. Ahura also teaches private classes in an array of subjects online using Skype video. For more information on classes and services with Ahura, please visit Unicorn Cove School of Metaphysics online at www.unicorn-cove.com. And now back to Ask the Unicorn.
Okay, that was Athanatos by Pisces Project, a delightful piece of music that I wrote myself, and with the help of my beautiful wife, Sonari, you can hear her voice. It's absolutely stunning. But that is Pisces Project, which is what we call ourselves, and I hope you all enjoy listening to that. Now let's get back to what we were talking about earlier, questions about psychic self-defense and methods of psychic self-defense, one of the things that I specialize in. I will be happy at this particular time to answer any questions that have to do with metaphysicality, psychic self-defense, or anything of a paranormal nature. So if there's anyone that would like to call in right now, please feel free to do so. I will keep talking and staying with you until we get some beautiful answers from myself and from other people that have helped me along my way. Okay. Someone has a question?
Yes, this question comes from Dominique Johnston. When it is very evident that someone close to you is extremely influenced and dominated by one of their close relatives, how do you help them understand it and be free from this?
That's kind of a tricky question. You're asking if there's someone that you know of that is very influenced by maybe a psychic imprint or maybe a malevolent energy, how do you get through to them, is what you're asking me. Okay, so sometimes the best way to get through to them is just to let them know that you understand what it is that they're going through, and then perhaps have someone who is actually qualified to speak to that person. But you can't force them, but if you can get them to agree with speaking to someone, that's the most that you can really do, because the more that you talk, the more they're not going to listen to you. I found in my travels that if there's a person that is having trouble, the more that you harp on their trouble, the less that they will actually listen to you. So you can just kind of like mention it, and perhaps if you just happen to have a guest by that specializes in listening to that particular type of problem, that could help. But it's not so much of being free from that person or that person being free from it as someone is there to understand. And that's kind of what we do, or what I do, is to listen to the person to find out what's really going on and then understand and let them know that I'm understanding. And then if there is something malevolent with them, then we will remove it. We will find a way to remove it. I always tell the person that I'm working with, I won't quit if you don't. In other words, I'll walk them through entirely. But if you know that someone needs help, the best thing that you can do for them is get them the help without bugging them about it. Okay? Is there another question?
Yes, this next question comes from Ruth Colby. Can spirits always choose who they appear to, and how can you draw a spirit to you?
Well, first off, Ruth, I really don't think that you want to draw a spirit to you. If there is something that is meant for you to see or hear, that spirit will get through to you, okay? In other words, it's not a matter of drawing them to you or pushing them away. The best thing that you can do is exist and live your life, and hopefully that spirit that you need to talk to will find their way to you. If they do find their way to you, you're probably going to need someone unless you can hear them yourself, because many people tell themselves what they just want to hear from a spirit. Like they'll go get a picture of someone and talk at the picture and then say, oh, well, the spirit said this to me. You can tell the difference by whether or not it has to do with an emotional presence. In other words, if there's something that you just want to say to this person, or you just want this person to say to you, and it's all about what you want and what's going to make you feel better, then you pretty much tell that has very little to do with the actual spirit. However, if there's a message that comes through clearly, and there's something that comes through clearly that really has nothing to do with you, that has nothing to do with your emotional content, that has nothing to do with how you feel about it, then perhaps it is someone who's actually being drawn to you, and it's a good thing. Just lay low on the wanting to draw a spirit towards you, because I really don't think that's a great thing. You may draw the wrong spirit. Remember, there are many spirits out there, and all of them want attention. Okay? Now, I have a person that is waiting online, and this is Arlita. And Arlita, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. And what can I do for you this evening?
Well, I had the question of, I go through my day. I, try to be the best that I can be, from day to day. But I was wondering, is there anything that I can actively do, like any sort of mantra or anything that I can kind of focus on to help me become the person that I truly want to be, forward and focused, and I have the driven personality, but at the same time, I need a little kick sometimes. And I was just wondering if there's anything that I can do like that to kind of help motivate me, push me along.
Well, you know, Arlita, there are a lot of things that you can do, and I've talked to you about some of these things that you can do. One of the things that you can do is just ask yourself 3 questions. And you have to make sure that you actually answer yourself back. And those is, who are you? Where are you? And what are you doing? In other words, this is something my teacher taught me long ago. And if you can identify with yourself, in other words, who are you? I'm a spiritual being. Where are you? I'm in a spiritual world. What are you doing? I'm growing and evolving daily. Now, those are 3 generalities, but you can give yourself exactly what it is that you need to tell yourself. In other words, who are you? You know, you're Arlita, and you are this type of a person. Where are you? I live in this spiritual world, and what this world is about is me accomplishing the things that I need to accomplish every single day, and you can name what those are. What are you doing? I am growing and evolving daily. In other words, I'm going to work, I am going home, I'm making sure that my life is clean, I'm making sure that I'm exercising, I'm making sure that I'm doing my dancing, especially that dance of Kali that you're supposed to be working on. I'm making sure that I am being the best person I possibly can be to the degree that I can know what the best is. In other words, your life should be pretty simple. You're a youngster, and what that basically means is that you've got your whole life in front of you. There's nothing that you should be worried about at this particular time. As a matter of fact, the only thing that you should be worried about is how you're going to look on camera. And even then, it's not even that serious, you know. I've seen you do what you do, and you do what you do wonderfully. And as long as you don't allow others to talk you down, in other words, as long as you don't allow others to tell you what, you know, you're not doing, what you're not good enough at, what you can't do, what you don't want to do, you'll be fine. Remember, you have this goal, and that goal is to be well known for what it is that you do. Not to be well known for what it is that you're not capable of doing. So you just leave those other people alone that are going to give you negativity and find out who it is that you are and stay on that course. You know, in other words, use that. Who am I? Where am I? What am I doing? And if you do that daily, you'll find your way. You're pretty confident as it is. You may not think that you're that confident because I've heard you talk from time to time, but remember, there are those people around that have a habit of helping you to find an imprint on your butt with a boot. Kind of like me.
Yeah, thank you.
So how is everyone? How's Forrest?
He's doing well. We're just
Good.
working.
Well, hey, that's what we all do, right? Except for the people up in the hill that decided to close government. But I'm not going to get into it.
I know. Let's not get into that.
You know, plain and simple, you know, you do what you got to do daily, and one step at a time. It's that simple.
Okay.
There's no giant mantra like, I'm going to go to work today. You know, it's just real simple. You just get up and go to work.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I feel
it's
like
good.
I stress myself out and look too far to the future, but yeah. It was nice talking to you. Thank you so much
Hey,
for
it's good
answering
talking to you,
questions.
too. Okay.
All right.
All right, that was Arlita. Arlita's a good friend of mine. As a matter of fact, anybody who calls in is a good friend of mine because I kind of need the support in doing my first radio show. Now, if you have any questions of any kind, I'm perfectly willing to answer them, except for these type of questions. Listen, I do many readings, and I do readings all over the world. No, I don't have to be there to do the reading. No, I don't need them to send me in a picture or anything like that. It's just goofy. But there are several questions that a person like me, who's a telepath, that is put into a kind of a precarious situation by answering questions in the first place that I just don't appreciate. One of those questions is my husband or my girlfriend or my wife cheating on me? Don't ask me things like that because I really don't want to answer stuff like that. I think it's absurd. You should know these things yourself. We all have a built-in intuition, so please don't waste my time with questions like that. I'm not interested, and you shouldn't be interested either. Okay. Now, I'm looking, and there seems to be another caller, and this woman's name is Susan. Susan, how are you this evening?
That's me. Do I have to turn off the volume on the show?
Yeah, it might be a good idea for you to turn off the volume because there's a bit of a delay.
I did that.
Okay.
So you really have me.
Yeah, I really have you.
Okay.
Hey, what can I do for you this evening?
Well, people in my life who have been dead.
Okay.
I mean, long dead. My husband, you might know my husband. You might have known my husband. I think my husband did come to you, my late husband, who died in 2009. He has come to me, like, I don't know if these are waking dreams or not, but there is another person who died, like, in the 1960s, 1965. And this kid has managed to come into my dreams and, like, really physically be there. And I don't know if this is being broadcasted or not, but this is kind of sexual. So I don't know if this is in my brain or what. So very, very strange, unresolved feelings for the guy, or
I understand.
Or a spirit, or I'm not like a super psychic person.
I understand. And this is not the first time I've heard this. I've heard many. This is not the first time I've heard something like this. As a matter of fact, I've heard quite often that there are people that have encounters that may be mildly sexual or even explicit, and it's in their dreams or in the dream world or even in an astral imprint. And what I mean by an astral imprint is that there are several existences besides our physical existence, and it doesn't surprise me that there would be someone who's connected to you. Perhaps this person that was connected to you, like your husband, may even have taken the shape of this kid, because obviously it made an impression on you. I mean, it could have been that. At the same time, it could have been just another entity, or even partly because you're experiencing some feelings of loneliness, that part of that energy is you that is helping to manufacture that particular thing. I'm not saying that you're doing it 100%. I'm only saying that sometimes when you go through a period of loneliness or you go through a period of anxiety, your dreams will be the very testing ground for what your mind is trying to settle. So it may be that you've lost a love, and that person may be visiting you as a lover. Okay, it doesn't mean that that's what they actually are, but they could be just helping your mind cope with things. Okay, because remember, the spiritual realm is something that is limitless. All of our thoughts are pretty apparent to them, and there really are no secrets when it comes to the spiritual. So you may be going through something in that particular manner. At this particular juncture, it doesn't sound like you've lost any lucidity in your thinking process. So I'm just going to say it's not bad or it's not serious at this time. But just to let you know, yes, there are entities that can visit you. But usually they have a connection to you in one way, shape, or another. So I'm going to say that this sounds like maybe it's your husband coming off as a representation of this child or this person that you're talking about. So one of the things you might do is reason with yourself and ask if that person is actually your husband, and if so, tell him to stop the masquerade.
Interesting. That's so you could, if you're in a lucid, I have to be into that lucid dream and just ask the person.
Yeah.
I have to have enough control into that lucid dream, because I think I'm not crazy.
I don't think you are either, and I'm not going to sit and pretend with you or anything and say that it's a lost lover or anything like that. I'm just going to tell you that
it's not. It was a lover who never was. Like it was a kid. The kid that's coming back that groped me and stuff like that was somebody who died at age 15, who I had a crush on. But that was so long ago. So why would that spirit be coming back?
Well, because it's a representation. It's a representation. You lost a husband and you miss that person. And that representation, it came off as, the child or another lost love. It's really tricky how our minds work. So
a lost friend, or how our perception's lost.
Yeah. But you're okay. You're okay.
I'm okay. I'm not.
Yeah, next time just see if you can ask the person if it is, are you my husband, or are you just playing a trick on me?
But is this crazy? Is this just going on in my brain, or is this something else coming out from somewhere?
Well,
contacting me.
Well, no. It sounds like there's a combination, and your mind is just playing a few tricks on you, but the spiritual connection is very real. And however, I think that this needs to be spoken to. I need to speak to you at length. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch you over so that they can give you some information and we can set up an appointment. And you and I can speak more about this. How's that sound?
We'll try it.
Okay, we'll go ahead and give that a shot. So I'm going to switch
We're
you
neighbors,
over.
but I don't have time right now to...
No, not right now. That can happen at a later date. Okay? In the meantime, just relax about it. And remember what I said. Ask the person.
I'm relaxed. I'm not stressed out. This is not freaking me out. This is just like, I'm okay with this stuff. I'm okay with, I've done psychic stuff before, but this is just really inexplainable. Like, why would some kid who died like at age 15 try to get back in touch with me?
But that's the very thing I'm trying to tell you, that it's not necessarily the kid that's trying to get in touch with you. It's your husband, and maybe your husband trying to get in touch with you, and the only way that he can get in touch with you is through the representation of that kid.
The husband should just say he's himself. I mean...
Yeah, you're right. But remember, he's the same way.
He's still playing stupid games after he's dead.
He'd be the same way. Yeah, he'd be the same way in... Well, totally maybe stupid. It is, but you know how he was in life. So he wouldn't be any different. Remember, he just lost his body. Well,
I think you know the guy. Okay.
I may. I mean, he wouldn't be any different in death, and you have to remember that. So he was kind of childish before; he'll be childish now. Okay, so just speak to him like that and tell him to knock it off. Okay.
That's cool. I've done that before.
Good. Anyway, we'll speak to you at length about this. I'm going to switch you over to our compartment where they'll speak to you. Thank you for calling in. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, C.
Okay. Right now, Kazi has a question from someone. Who is it? Hold on just a second, all of you that are calling in.
Next question comes from Sarah Smith. In your book, The Way of the Unicorn, you mention a person who, through her love of cats, was denying her totem, which is wolf. Being that it sounded familiar to me, I was wondering if this was not intentional. How can it be?
Well, it isn't necessarily intentional. It just may be a matter of not being clear on what your actual totem animal is. This particular person is someone who I very much admire, and it's just that she doesn't see that. She may see her wolf spirit, but she doesn't see that her totem is not a cat in any way, shape, or form. Not everybody sees that. There are a lot of people that go around and they get tattoos on their arms of a giant eagle, and then they have the personality of a butterfly, but that's just the way that people are. So listen, give yourself a break. It's okay to like cats. And as a matter of fact, there are a lot of people that I know that love cats, and I call them crazy cat ladies, like most of them are men, ironically. There's a few of them, like a good friend of mine. I consider him kind of a son-in-law. That's Brad. He's a crazy cat lady, but there's no cats in his totem. It's just the way that it is. Sometimes a person may just identify with something that's not necessarily them, but has a kinship to them. Yours, Sarah, I can definitely tell you is a wolf. You do have a wolf totem, so I'll just tell you that straight up front. And for those of you that are looking to ask me what your totem is, and I haven't just openly volunteered it, I'll tell you what it is. It's a dorkfish. All of yours, dorkfish. Okay, I hope that sufficiently answers your question. What I'm going to do right now is I'm going to move to another caller, and this particular caller is Nadine. How are you doing this evening, young lady?
Hello, greetings, Z.
Hi.
How are you? I'm well, thank you. Greetings to the Unicorn Cove family as well. And
thank you.
To be listening in on the show. I do have a question.
Good.
And it's something that you have begun to educate me on, but I still have questions. And it's just related to your name numerology and your vibrational frequency. What is the difference, and how are they interrelated? Like, how do they relate to one another?
Well, there is no difference. Your vibrational frequency is your basic sound. In other words, when I say vibrational frequency, I mean the number of times that the number of times you vibrate to a certain thing. That's hence the term frequency. Your spelling of your name and the name that you're being called determines just about everything in your life. This is why a lot of people will change their names, because they don't either like the sound of it, or they don't like the vibration of it. But it will be what you're most known as. In other words, you're known as Nadine. So your vibrational frequency will be spelled Nadine. Now, that could be many, many different spellings, but even the numbers or the letters mean something, because the letters equate to numbers, and numbers equate to sounds, sounds equate to colors, colors equate to shapes, and so forth and so forth. And then they all coincide with different parts of a dimensional reality. In other words, there's the physical realm, the astral realm, the etheric, spirit, and soul realm. And those even coincide with what senses are your strongest. For instance, most of us are very, very olfactory people. In other words, your sense of smell is probably the strongest sense that you have, because it dips into everything and it influences everything. And that may be part of your knowing realm, which is part of the mental realm, which has to do with your sense of spirituality and well-being. Now, all of that just sounds like basic psychobabble, but this is a very specific art. It's a very specific art, which is why I take the time to help you understand what different letters mean, different numbers mean, different colors, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And then we'll translate anything that comes up in your name or in the time that you were born, and your date, your heart rate, et cetera, to a sound. And then we will find the sound that best matches you and put them all together. This is what's called a vibrational frequency for you to listen to. Essentially, it's like recreating you in sound up to five times. And once we do that, if we have your perfect sound and your perfect vibration, then the vibration that is off has to go away. It's kind of like being squeezed by the perfect vibration. So this is how we do that. So if you're talking about what the difference is between the sound and the frequency, there is no difference between the sound and the frequency, except for the fact that you also equate in color. You bring in the numbers, you bring in the letters, you bring in the seasons, you bring in planetary influence. And so in other words, for you to actually study vibrational frequency, you're also going to have to study astrology and numerology. It's a triple threat type of a thing. But
I see.
Really simply, your vibrational frequency is your sound.
Oh, so what happens, like, for women in particular, like when they get married, and they change their names? There's no difference?
No, there's no real difference. It's what they're most known by. You're talking about the first and last name, but I doubt seriously that everybody addresses you as Nadine McIntyre.
No.
Hello, Nadine McIntyre. Except for Data on Star Trek, maybe he might do that. But when a person decides to change their name, it takes a while for that actual vibration to catch up. So you're still Nadine, but you may be Nadine Pereira as opposed to Nadine McIntyre. That changes you, yes. But it still operates off of the same principle. This is why some people have such a hard time adjusting to a person that's changed their name. They'll keep calling you Nadine McIntyre, knowing that you've been married and knowing that your name is no longer McIntyre.
Right.
It's just a faux pas. They have to get used to that vibration, and the more they get used to that vibration, even you yourself have to get used to that vibration. So the more you get used to that vibration, the more you'll be comfortable with it, and it will become a part of yourself, and then it will be the same as if you were Nadine McIntyre, only it's Nadine Pereira, which is a totally complete different vibration, but it's still very comfortable for you.
Oh, I see. So, because I know you do, you've made like vibrational frequencies of people, and I know you played a few to me, and I've listened to them, and I said, oh my God, that does sound like this person. Oh my goodness, it
well,
just,
of course.
And I can't explain how. So how would that, like, if I purchase a copy, how would that benefit me? In like, how would I use it to like make me a better person and stay on my path and like how would I use that to benefit my life?
It's very simple. The way that I've worked it is all you really have to do is listen to it. The more that you listen to it, the more you familiarize yourself with your true vibration. The more you familiarize yourself with your true vibration, the more you can actually live it. So that those things that are of the old vibration, those things that are of a negative vibration, get outnumbered. And you have an opportunity to go with a positive vibration or stay with your old. And I don't see that anyone would stay with that old broken vibration when they can have the better vibration, which is them. It's kind of like old and busted, new hot. And it does work. It does 100% work. It's a tedious process, but it does indeed work. One of the best things you can do is learn vibrational frequency, learn the art of vibrational frequency. There are those that call it a divine science, and I can call it that myself because I used to say that I just hate scientists, but the truth is that I appreciate pure science. I don't appreciate necessarily popular science because, listen, popular science usually have everything to do with, money and claiming things that you absolutely know nothing about. Whereas pure science is for the art of discovery, understanding that science is the offspring of art. So I'll call this a divine science. That's fine. I'll also call this an art because that's the truth. So it's very tedious, but I promise you the results are astounding.
Well, it sounds like I definitely need to jump bandwagon and educate myself, especially as a musician.
Definitely
some
that.
Things that I definitely need to invest in.
Well, of course.
Thank you for clearing that up. I know it's
problem.
something that you've begun to teach me, but it's always good to hear it from you directly. So thank you very much.
You're very, very welcome. And I'll talk to you soon, sweetheart. Thanks for calling in.
Okay. Sure.
Okay. Now, that was Nadine, and she's very, very bright. I appreciate that. What we're going to do now is play a song, a very, very empowering song, and this is called Gaia Chant. And I don't hate to do this. I actually wrote this song, and I wrote it specifically for women to help them empower themselves. I don't consider that I can empower any woman. Women are already powerful. I just want to show what I think of you all. So we wrote this song. This is a Pisces project as well, and it's from an album, The Planets, but it's very powerful, and I hope you all like it. So here it is, Gaia Chant.
Amayawe Anho, Pate Adonai Ho, Isaka Kamariate.
Mane, mane, yake, kawa, noke, atushiri, pati, pati, yamo, ke, neki, oria, ke, yake, amayawe, kinerake, la, makuiriate.
Mina sekugi, haela, eka, sa, sanirika, o, pausha.
Riate, hilerake, riate, atinite, oria, riate, riate, ha.
Ayawa, Amayawe Anho, Pate Adonai Ho, Isaka Kamariate, Shikenako, Kire Korpo, Amarita Korpo, Isaka Kamariate, Ayawa,
That was Gaia Chant. That's a very powerful song. It happens to be one of my favorites. Now, I want to let you all know, all of you that are listening and all of you that will be listening in the future, that if there is a song that you would like to hear, that is some of the ones that I have written myself, and that Unicorn Word Records, which is our record label, can play, we will do so, and would very much like to do so. I want to take a moment and talk to you all about the movie that we are filming at the moment, and that is called Valkyr. And Valkyr is a movie about 5 women that are taken from different time periods and given an opportunity by the gods. They will be the superheroes. In other words, they will save the world. And fate gives them power, or fate gives them wings, and the gods give them special powers. Now, this is going to be a very exciting movie. I'm hoping to get this particular movie done by March of next year and have it aired maybe in April. It's promising to be a very exciting movie. There are people that you already know, and I'm going to take the opportunity to give a few shouts. One of them is to Shelley Nunchucks, who is a radio station, or a radio show will be coming on just after mine. And I also want you all to tune in to Charlie Alejandro and her Diamond and Rough show. I know that these women that are part of this movie will be very excited to have you all listen to them as well. This movie will be very inspiring. It's about the empowerment of women. And I always feel funny when I say that, because I don't necessarily mean that they're getting empowered, because the fact that it was a woman that gave birth to me shows they already have power. And I appreciate that. It will help you all to see that you don't have to be what Hollywood wants you to be in order to be a superhero. And there are a lot of strong women that help me along my path that this movie is dedicated to. So if you all can help, we always need money. We need money to buy things and to build things. So if you can, one of the things you can do is check out our website, and you can check it out on Facebook. That's Facebook Valkyr, and see if you can make a donation to the actual movie. Now, I want to get back to things. I think I have some more questions. And what do you have for me, Stephen? What do you have for me?
This next question is from Shannon. She wants to know, how long did it take for you to reach to the level that you're at right now?
That's a hard question. It took, I'm 53 years old now, so it took me 53 years. It took me 53 years to reach the level that I'm at right now. Remember, when you're talking about spiritual awareness and you're talking about developing one's gifts, that's a lifelong process. My formal training took 6 years, but that was, almost 30 years ago. And I've been doing paranormal and metaphysical work ever since then. I'm not new to this particular game. I've done my work for a long time and have been in the service of the universe all of my life, pretty much. So I'll say about 53 years. That's a good question, though. Remember, you will pursue what you're going to pursue all of your life. If it's not something that can keep you entertained or something that can hold your interest all your life, it's not really worth doing. Spirituality is one of those things that encompasses everything. Spirituality is universality. So hopefully that answers your question. Do we have anything else? Okay, for all of you that would like to ask questions, please don't be shy. I will answer your questions. This is our very first show, and I'm kind of proud of that. This is actually quite exciting. I'm trying not to be overly excited and talk a mile a minute. Oh, we do have another question.
This next question is from Tony. He asks, what's a good way to protect yourself from negative influences in the workplace?
When I worked at a restaurant, let's just pick a restaurant, and I'm very proud of my work that I did at a restaurant. I would always say a litany to help protect myself, and then realize that it was me that was going to protect myself. One of the things that I would do is I'd do a little ceremony, and you can make the ceremony up as you go, to say that I am now guarded, protected, and shielded against all forms of psychic attack. I am now completely protected, head to toe, top, bottom, left, right, front, back, and inside. And of course, since I am very Christ-based, and those out there that want to, you can take it however you choose to. But my role model is always going to be the Christ. It's always going to be Jesus, and there's nothing I can say to change that. That being said, I am the mystic. I am all of those things. I do practice mysticism. I practice positivity. I practice spirituality, all those things. Just understand that no matter what I practice, it all comes as Christ is my center. So you all can choose who you want to, and you call to that person and ask them, in the name and nature of the Christ I know is Jesus, I may say that I am guarded, protected, and shielded against all forms of psychic attack, whether they are physical, mental, emotional, astral, etheric, spirit, thought, soul, or financial forms. And then I say, so it is, so it is, so it is. And I go about my day confident that I have done the right things in order to protect myself. If you're someone who likes the Buddha, or you're someone who is very goddess-centered, which I also am, then you can talk to the goddess. And you understand that God is God no matter what you want to make God seem like. There are those that argue whether God is called Jehovah or Allah. They are both the same thing. And it's about time that we understood that. Allah is Jehovah, is El Shaddai, is Ahura Z, is Elohim, Adonai. It doesn't matter. God is God. Goddess is goddess. And you know what? If you chose to call God tree, you would be well within your rights to do so. So that's usually what I do. I give myself a little litany and then go on about my business and try not to get involved in the petty junk that people come up with. I try to leave life as drama deficit as possible. Just stay out of other people's drama. You'll be fine. Yeah, I hope that answers your question. Okay, it's about time for me to begin my closeout of this particular show. For those of you that had questions and you just forgot them, because sometimes I have a habit of answering questions before they've been asked, or as you just kind of blank out on your questions, please write them down. If you write your questions down, then you'll have them there ready. For those of you that just like to listen, I really do appreciate that. Hopefully this particular show will grow and grow. This is the Ask the Unicorn show. This is the opportunity that you get to have all of your paranormal questions answered. It doesn't matter what they are. I've told you, so long as they have nothing to do with your marriage or your relationships or anything like that. And if you ask me if so-and-so is your soulmate, I'm going to tell you no. Okay? So that's something that you should know yourself. For those of you that have questions that you didn't get to ask today, you will get the opportunity to ask them soon. As for right now, hold on a second. We have one more that I'll answer.
You can send your questions to questions@asktheunicorn.com.
Okay, hopefully you got that. If you send your questions to asktheunicorn.com, we'll do our best to answer them for you. For those of you that would like a reading or counseling, I am available. You'll Also, raise that on asktheunicorn.com, and you can always call our website or check into our website, which is unicorn-cove.com, and hopefully we will get through to you, and you'll get all your needs answered. I'd like to again say a few things to the people that are out there, such as Shelly Nunchucks, my little sister. Hopefully you all will listen to her radio show as well. She's quite entertaining. And there's also Charlie Alejandro, which is the Diamond in the Rough show, and she's very, very talented, and I hope you all listen to her. One of the things that I would like to say to you all before we end tonight is you have dreams, you have hopes, and you have loves. Try to keep them all alive. Do your best, no matter what is occurring around you.
You've been listening to Ask the Unicorn, live with Ahura Z. Diliiza. If you have a personal matter you need help with, Ahura offers private telepathic readings and telepathic spiritual counseling sessions by phone and Skype. Ahura also teaches private classes in an array of subjects online using Skype video. You can learn more by visiting Unicorn Cove School of Metaphysics online at www.unicorn-cove.com. If you have a question you would like to hear Ahura answer on a future episode of Ask the Unicorn, you can email it to questions@asktheunicorn.com. Ask the Unicorn broadcasts live every Wednesday night at 8:30 Eastern Standard Time on Blog Talk Radio. www.blogtalkradio.com/asktheunicorn.
Do you do when you don't know? Just go and ask for do-de-o-do. Ahura Z will journey with you to all the places others
Ready to
won't
see
go.
today.
What do you do when you don't know? Just go and ask for do-de-o-do. Ahura Z will journey with you to all the places others won't go.